Okay, we're back. So we've got the S curve, we've got our C shape, we've got our candy cane. Okay, the last one is this kind of donut or circular shape. All right, you'll also notice that it's got a little bit different pattern. It's not the braided, okay? It's got a twist to it. And the way we're gonna do that, and hopefully I've got enough coil here, okay, is basically I'm gonna take my coil, I'm gonna bend it in half like I did with the original one. And very simply, okay, all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna twist the ends in opposite directions, okay? And I'm not gonna do this too tight because the tighter I do it, the more I run the risk of it cracking and breaking, especially if the clay's a little bit on the dry side, okay? So I'm gonna go as far as I dare, and once I start seeing it starting to crack just a little bit, probably gonna go ahead and back off, or I could probably add a little bit of water to it if I really wanted to go a little bit further. But I'm just gonna do this gradually. Again, if you do this very quickly, it will most likely break. And we don't want that, obviously, because then you have to start over. Okay, so now I've got that design. All I did was just very gently twist that together, okay? Then what I'm gonna do is, like I did before, we wanna make sure that this is all connected. So whatever is going to be the inside, and I can even give this a little bit of a roll just to kind of smooth things out, but I'm gonna decide which is gonna be the inside, and it doesn't really matter, I guess, okay? But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna flatten out the inside by dragging the clay back and forth, okay? And this is gonna help connect, and I'm gonna go to the individual seams here. I don't know if you guys can see that on the video. Hopefully it's showing up. So I'm gonna drag those over so that I'm connecting those individual pieces. Again, this is gonna become the inside of my handle, so therefore eventually it's going to be perfectly flat and smooth, which I can do in just a second here. Once I get those first notches down and connected, there we go. Now you can kind of see it smoothing back and forth. Again, just using a popsicle stick. Don't have to use fancy tools, okay? Popsicle stick works great. Back and forth. Okay, and that's just kind of like how we did with the, what do you call it, the braided design, okay? The outside still has that nice design there, but the inside's gonna be rounded. I'm gonna go ahead and give that a couple little rolls there just to kind of smooth out those rough edges that I had from where I was smoothing it on the inside. Can use a little damp sponge, give it a little extra cleanness, get rid of all those little tool marks, make sure it looks like it grew like that. That's just the way it was. Okay, and I might come back in with my needle tool if I really wanted to be picky and clean these little chunks out, but for demonstration purposes, I think that's pretty darn good. Okay, so there's my twisted design. Now this handle again is a little bit different, okay, in the way that it's attached. I'm gonna go ahead and cut one side of it so that I've got a nice flat edge. All right, again, I'm gonna go ahead and use my dowel here to help create that rounded shape. And I'm gonna go a little bit beyond, kind of like how we were making the candy cane design, okay? And then the difference is that we're gonna go ahead and cut this down to size. Just kind of eyeballing that. And again, this is kind of going along that C shape that we had. Okay, and that just helps give that curve on the inside here, okay, a little bit smoother connection, all right? And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna connect this here. Okay, and so you can see where the two pieces come together there. I'm gonna go ahead and smooth this in. This is what's gonna be attached to my mug, so this I'm never really gonna see, okay? It's gonna be a little bit difficult to get that to stay together, so I'm gonna just add a little score slip and smooth there. Press that in. That gives it a little bit stickiness. Stickiness? I think I just made up a word. All right, so there we go. So we're smoothing this all together. I'm gonna smooth it on the inside as well. Again, anytime you're connecting two pieces, the more places you can connect it, the better. all the way around on the inside. Go to the opposite side here. Okay, just like that. And now what I can do, okay, is I can then go ahead and press this down a little bit and give it more of an oval type shape. Right now it's kind of like a donut, but now I've got more of an oval shape. The flat side here, where I smoothed it out, that's what's being connected to my mug, okay? But now, as you can see, I can get 3 fingers inside that handle. We just score, slip, and smooth that on there, okay? And that gives it a little bit different look, all right? So this would then score, slip, and smooth on about here. Now, positioning of this, depending on where you want it, that will also determine a couple of things. If you put it way up high like this, the problem is that it's either gonna have to hang or you won't be able to turn it upside down very easily. If you put it in the middle, you're probably safe that way. If you put it too low, it's gonna be kind of awkward and it looks kind of weird. But that's up to you. You have to decide where you want it to go. Again, score, slip, and smooth, score, slip, and smooth. Attach that on there, and then you've got that handle. And then you've got, like I said, that handle is your design, okay? So there are 4 different handles. That one's a little misshapen, that you can use for your project. That is up to you. The one thing that I would suggest is make sure that the top of this is nice and rounded. We'll talk about finishing this in the last video coming up.